Research in Smoothies by Timeless Tears. Chapter 2. Life after the drug was not all that different. It received a small blurb on the news, and there was a moment of hype about it before it became just another medication on the shelf. A prescription wasn't needed since it was classified as an antacid. It had been called RC Stomach, and its white bottle fit perfectly between the cold medicine and the eye drops. "I gotta admit, I'm a little disappointed," Hide said before taking a bite of cake. Their classes had finished up for the day, and Kaneki had decided to kill time at Kaneki, a small cafe he had discovered last year. Hide decided to tag along, if only to annoy his best friend. It was also the place where Kaneki met his, ex-girlfriend that it was into premeditated murder, as Hide put it. Kaneki tried to tell Hide that going on one date didn't make her his girlfriend, let alone an ex. Hide had admonished him, saying that anyone who felt strong enough about someone else to kill them deserved better than being called a one-night stand. This led to an argument about purposely misconstruing words that ended in a violent thumb war to prove who was right. Kaneki knew he should probably have an aversion to Kaneki, but he liked the atmosphere. It was perfect for reading, and the coffee was delicious. Attempted murder or no, he wasn't going to stop coming here. "What are you disappointed about?" Kaneki asked as he cracked open his book. The Hanged Man's MacGuffin was one of Takatsuki's Sen's newer works. He had read it before and couldn't wait to read it again. He had also ordered a slice of cake and was about to take a bite when he remembered he hadn't taken his pill yet. I thought we started a revolution here. Where's the hype, the respect? Without us, this miracle drug wouldn't exist, but everyone's all, oh, antacid for ghouls. Ghoul. Not Ghoul. Not Ghoul at all. Hide pouted. Kaneki was about to pop the pill in his mouth when a waitress accidentally bumped his arm as she rushed by with an order. "Sorry," she called over her shoulder as Kaneki watched the pill dissolve in his coffee. "Well, it could be worse," Kaneki said, taking out another pill. The drug only worked when taken orally. "At least our research didn't go to waste, right?" "Ah!" The waitress stumbled into him on her way back, causing him to drop his pill. Again. Hide stared at him, betrayal in his eyes. "I can't believe you just said that to me! At least our research didn't go to waste! What is wrong with you?" No, don't answer that. Hide sighed. "I should have seen this coming when I decided to befriend the biggest nerd in Japan. I thought my presence would help you see that there's more to life than stuffy books. Forgive me for failing you." "On the contrary, your presence has helped me see how important research and studying is," Kaneki replied, looking at his book, but Hide spotted the sly grin on his face and stuck his tongue out in retaliation. "Rude! Pot, meat, kettle, no?" "How dare you use metaphors to define our relationship?" "It was an idiom, and I shortened it for you since I know your attention span is lagging." "Do you remember in high school when I told you not to be such a goody-goody?" Hide asked, and Kaneki nodded. "Yeah, see, I didn't mean become a super being of sass that attacks his bestie with his clever wit when he's born. I was aiming more towards your sass attacking other people." "What a sad life you live," Kaneki muttered, becoming absorbed in his book. "Shakespeare would write plays about me if he were alive." Hide snickered before frowning when he realized he'd lost Kaneki to a world of fiction. "And the tragedies just keep piling up. I'm going to the bathroom. Maybe I'll find the meaning of life in the urinal." Sure," Kaneki said, and Hide had half a mind to eat Kaneki's cake, but decided to be merciful. Kaneki didn't notice Hide leave. Engrossed in his book, a faint part of him spoke up, reminding him that he hadn't eaten yet. On autopilot, his hand dug into his pocket, uncapped the bottle, and took out another pill. As Grey Eyes scanned over the words, taking in prisoner 182's story, he brought the pill to his lips, only for it to share the same fate as the ones before it, ending up in his coffee. Drinking back to the real world, he sighed and looked at the waitress, who was once again apologizing to him. Once was an accident. Twice was a coincidence. 3 times was intentional. Excuse me?" He started out, voice soft, doing his best to hide his annoyance. "Is there a reason why you're purposefully knocking into me? I'd like to eat, and I can't do that with you making me drop my medication." The waitress, Toka, according to the name tag, bowed to him, looking for all the world as if she felt terrible. However, instead of saying sorry, she began whispering to him. "What the heck is wrong with you? Are you an idiot?" "Excuse me?" Kaneki asked, shocked at her accusation. "That drug you're about to take is made by the CCG." "Yes," Kaneki trailed off, unsure of what she was getting at. "I know where it came from. Is that a problem? Toga's face turned from red to purple. If they weren't in a public place, Kaneki might have been worried for his life. You are an idiot! She snarled quietly. An idiot and a traitor! What sort of ghoul trusts anything from the CCG? That pill will probably kill you! Kaneki blinked at her. What was she talking about? She made it sound like he was about to commit a cardinal sin. Oh. He blinked again and glanced around the room. Almost all of the customers and staff were giving him nervous looks. A few were glaring at him, as if they couldn't believe how foolish he was acting. In their quest to find a way for Kaneki to eat again, Hide and him had learned quite a bit about ghouls. How they assimilated themselves into human society, and how some had set up safe places for other ghouls when they couldn't find food. Hide and Kaneki had made finding a ghoul safe house one of their many backup plans in case they failed. To think there had been one right under their noses. Kaneki was also beginning to see why RC's stomach wasn't catching on so well within the ghoul community. Who was the #1 ghoul exterminator in Japan? The CCG. Which humans did ghouls hate and fear the most? Those of the CCG. Who made and manufactured RC's stomach? The CCG. Listen, Kaneki started, trying to find the best way to explain without offending her, saying something along the lines of, I'm sorry for any losses you've suffered, would probably make her rip his head off. Trying to defend the CCG would probably make her rip his head off. Snapping at her and saying it wasn't her concern or anyone else's would probably also end badly for him. I understand you're concerned, and I appreciate that, but this drug won't kill me. It's harmless. Harmless? Toga scoffed. Nothing the CCG does is harmless. Okay, that's fair, Kaneki conceded, taking out his bottle. She wasn't wrong, and he didn't feel like fighting. He was hungry, and he wanted to read his book. He frowned when he realized there was only one pill left. He'd have to get another bottle after this. Harmless or not, it's my choice to take this pill, not yours. Normally, wouldn't speak so bluntly to a stranger, but she had cost him 3 pills, and this drug, while not outrageously expensive, wasn't cheap. As he put the pill in his hand, he saw Toga tense out of the corner of his eye. He turned to her and gave a polite smile. If this pill ends up like the last 3, I will be speaking to your manager and you will be paying for my next bottle. Are we clear? Her jaw dropped at his response and he took that moment to swallow his pill. Good. Now let me eat cake. The eyes of the people around him widened and a few even gasped, as if they were expecting him to explode or flop dead on the table. Kaneki was beyond them, already back to his book with one hand steadily pushing piece by piece of cake into his mouth. Man, Kaneki, you should check out their bathroom. Hey, it's Toka-chan! Hide said with a cheerful smile as he sat back down. His expression turned sheepish when she gave him a startled look. Sorry, you probably don't remember me. I asked you out last time I was here. No, I remember you, she said, but she was looking at Kaneki, recognition slowly working its way into her memory. This kid, wasn't he the one Riza had been hunting? Well, I'm glad I left an impression, even if I didn't get a date. Hide snickered as he looked at his friend. My good friend here managed to score a date with a fine-looking lady last time. Can you believe that? He asked, jerking his thumb at Kaneki, ignoring the kick to his shin. Oh, is that so? Toga barely managed to say with a strange smile. Coffee shops are a good place for people to meet. Well, it's not like they're still dating, Hide said, waiting for Kaneki to put his cup to his lips. Turns out she was a man-eater. Kaneki spat his coffee out all over the table. Oh my god! Hide exclaimed, though Kaneki could tell he was trying not to laugh. Toga-chan, I am so sorry. This guy is still learning about social interactions. I do my best, but he's such a nerd, you know? Breaking down all those introvert walls is hard. No, it's fine, Toga said, face pale and looking like she was on the verge of panic. Thankfully, she felt a familiar presence come up behind her. Is there a problem here? The manager asked, taking in the 2 young men and the messy table. No, Kaneki said, giving Hide the stink eye before giving the older man an apologetic bow. I have unsteady hands and lost a few of my pills in my coffee. I wasn't expecting the taste. Sorry for causing a scene. We'll clean up and leave. Nonsense, the manager said with a kind smile. It is not our customer's job to clean up messes. Toga, please go get a wet towel. Toga nodded and made a mad dash to the back, eager to leave. Please allow me to get you a replacement coffee to go. On the house, of course. There's no need for that. It was my fault, after all. Kaneki stuttered nervously, one hand on his chin. Perhaps, but I believe Toga was a little clumsy today and bumped into you more than once. the older man said without hesitation, and Kaneki winced. He had been annoyed at her, but he didn't want to get her in trouble. He had gotten to eat his cake, after all. I saw her apologize, but please, allow me to get you a new coffee. Okay, thank you, Kaneki said. Oh, manager? He called out to the man and smiled when he turned to look at him. The cake here is delicious. I'm glad I tried it. I'm happy to hear that, the manager said with a smile of his own. I can't believe he gave you free coffee and slice of cake, Hide complained as they walked down the street. The coffee I get, but why the cake? Favoritism, I tell you. He looked at Kaneki. By the way, did Toka-chan say why she kept running into you like that? He asked, getting Kaneki out of the way of another person because Kaneki had yet to understand how dangerous reading and walking were when combined. Hide was also forced to carry Kaneki's coffee, revenge for making him spit out his coffee, according to Kaneki. I think Tanekyu is one of those safe houses for ghouls. At least most of the other customers were ghouls, Kaneki said as he turned another page. Oh, Ghoul! You think I'm still allowed to go there? I'd hate to make anyone uncomfortable. I bet I smell hella delicious. You smell like sweat and stale hamburgers, Kaneki said, not missing a beat. Turn here. I need to buy another bottle of RC stomach. Oh, yeah? Well, you smell like... Hide stopped walking and sniffed him right in the middle of the street. You smell like shampoo and ink. How is that even possible? It's like you came out of a romance novel. Not cool, man. Be gross and smelling like the rest of you mankind. Did you just sniff me in the middle of a crowded street? Kaneki asked, finally putting his book away and taking his coffee back. Yeah! There's this concept called personal space. Do you know what that is? Your strange words are lost on me. Hide snickered, slinging an arm over Kaneki's shoulder as they walked into the small convenience store. They bickered the whole time they were there, casually flinging insults at each other and cracking jokes. It took less than 10 minutes for Kaneki to find the medicine and pay the cashier. Then the two young men were out the door, prepared to spend the rest of the day lazing about at Kaneki's apartment. Neither noticed the stupefied investigator who had been in line behind them. A few days later, Hide spotted Kaneki walking across Kamai's vast campus grounds. For a second, he considered calling out, but decided it was easier to just run up and jump on Kaneki's back. Yo, Kaneki! Take a look at this! Hide yelled as he shoved a flyer into Kaneki's hands. Kaneki glanced at the paper and smiled. Commission of Counter Ghoul Tour. Come to our office on June 1st to learn about ghouls. You'll be able to tour our buildings, look at our research department, and speak with our investigators, he said, fondly recalling saying the exact same words last year. Professor Yana remembered how interested I was last year and remembered. So, want to go talk to some investigators? Hide asked with a grin. Kaneki let out an exasperated sigh, but he was smiling. You just want to argue with them, don't you? Yep! Amon glared at the short stake in his hand. Technically, Suzuya had drawn the shortest stick, but the group had been worried he'd be too eccentric for the public. A fair point, he supposed, until he realized he had drawn the second shortest stick. Well, it wouldn't be too bad. The CCG never advertised the tour well, so very few people stopped by. He would probably be stuck doing paperwork all day. Of course, right as he thought this, the phone rang. It was the receptionist letting him know 2 people were there for the tour. As he took the elevator down to meet them, he couldn't help but think of last year's tour. It had been interesting, to say the least, and it was this reason the CGG started making RC stomach. Amon thought the drug was useless, ghouls wouldn't take it, but it wasn't his place to say so. He put the thought out of his mind as the elevator opened. Putting on a smile, he walked towards the lobby, ready to enthusiastically tell strangers why he loved his job. Hello, welcome to the CCG tour. Today I'll be your guide. My name is... He stopped, enthusiasm dying as he took in the 2 boys. One was grinning with that shame, while the other had the grace to look embarrassed. Oh, it's you 2. Hey, Amon! Hide greeted as they walked towards him. Amon-san? Kaneki said with a respectful bow, and Amon decided he liked Kaneki more than Hide. Is there a reason why you 2 are here? Amon asked as he turned around and began to walk away. To learn about ghouls, of course! Hide said as they followed him past the RC scanner, and Amon could feel a headache coming on. We had a lot of fun last year, so why not come again? Last year ended in tears. Amon reminded both of them as he viciously stabbed the elevator button. The only people crying were investigators, and that's because they knew I was right, Hide said as the 3 of them crammed into the elevator and Kaneki hissed at him to behave. Amon took a breath, exhaled, and centered himself. He could do this, he told himself as the elevator opened and they stepped out. He could do this tour and not kill anyone. He talked about the exact same things as last year. He spoke of the Academy, the CCG's mission, the Kinkeis. Hide had opened his mouth to give his opinion about that topic, but Kaneki's left the hand over his mouth before Hide could get a word out. And Kagunes. The last subject caused Hide to go into near hysterics while Kaneki turned an interesting shade of red. It had taken them 2 months to figure out what type Kaneki had. They had done some research on the types of Kagunes, and Hide had bet Kaneki that his would be an Ukaku. It would fit you! There's a bunch of birds in literature. It's perfect! Of course, neither knew how to get the Kagune to come out. Hide had poked and pinched Kaneki's back for 2 days straight before Kaneki told him to leave it be. Since Kagunes were there for ghouls to defend themselves, it seemed the only way to find out was to put Kaneki in some form of danger. While both of them were curious, they weren't that curious. The only reason they had discovered Kaneki's was a rinkaku was because Hide had accidentally knocked over one of Kaneki's bookshelves. The bookshelf fell on top of Hide, by the way. Not completely. Oh, Kaneki's books had beaten him up courtesy of gravity, and the bookshelf probably would have broken some of his bones had Kaneki not caught it with his rinkaku. My god, you would have thought Kaneki had witnessed a murder by the way he reacted. There was this high-pitched shriek, the sound of ripping clothes, and suddenly a bunch of tentacles setting the bookshelf upright and putting the books back, leaving a dazed Hide on the floor. Are you okay, Hide? Kaneki had asked as he rushed over to him. Do I need to call an ambulance? Yeah, I think you shattered my eardrums with your scream. You ever think about a career with the opera? This, of course, had earned Hide a punch to the stomach and a flustered Kaneki claiming he was worried about his books. Then Hide got a good look at Kaneki's Kagune and busted out laughing. Don't show foreigners your Kagune! They're going to think that all those rumors about Japanese people liking tentacle porn is true! Hey, how much hentai have you been— Ow! Kaneki had noodle arms, but his punches still hurt. They then spent the rest of the day trying to figure out how to get the rinkaku to go back in! Hide let out a laugh at the memory. I'm almost afraid to ask what you're thinking about. Amon's voice brought Hide back to reality. You don't want to know, Amon-san, Kaneki said, glaring at Hide, letting him know he knew exactly what the other was thinking about. Nobody wants to know. Right. Moving on, Amon said as they continued to walk. Last year, the CCG decided to try a new method for subduing ghouls. A drug was created that allows ghouls to momentarily eat human food. This was created with the idea that it would bring down human consumption among ghouls. Amon shot them a grim smile. While the researchers are still gathering data, early results conclude that ghouls still prefer eating humans, even with an alternative offered. Well, yeah, Hide said and gave Amon an "Are you dumb?" look. You guys are marketing it all wrong. Thus, the second great debate began. Like the year before, the small group made their way to the cafeteria, Hide and Amon arguing all the way. Shinoharu, Akira, and a few others looked up when they heard the commotion. Akira's eyes narrowed into a glare when she caught sight of bright blonde hair, and Shinohara groaned. They came back, he asked, and Suzuya clapped and let out a cackle. Hooray for an entertaining bunch! He giggled as Amon sat down with a glare, Kaneki and Hide sitting on the other side. We're doing all we can. It's not our fault if the ghouls won't take the drug, Amon said, practically snarling. Yeah, it is your fault, Hide replied around the slurping of noodles. I mean, you guys engraved CCG right on the pills. You are aware that you're boogeyman to ghouls, right? Why would they take it? You should have created a sister company or something, anything, so long as it didn't have the same stigma as the CCG name. The CCG is the one who made the drug, so it's only fair that the CCG gets the credit it deserves for it. Oh, that's rich! You hear that, Kaneki? Hide asked his friend. Kaneki nodded a little, but was mostly focused on his book. Credit? If it wasn't for us, you guys would have never done it, let alone thought of it. Where's our credit? Did you create a similar drug? Shinohara couldn't help but ask. No, we created a smoothie which brought forth the idea for the drug. A smoothie? Amon deadpanned, and Hide nodded. Yeah, Kaneki was scared because he didn't want to eat people, and coffee can only do so much, you know? So he snagged the idea from FMA. You know, in the beginning when they wanted to bring their mom back, gathering the ingredients that make up the human body was fairly cheap and easy, and... Oh, crap! Hide turned to Kaneki. We did the exact same thing to the FMA creator that the CCG did to us! Crap! So send her an apology, was Kaneki's faint murmur. Yeah, good idea. Amon and the others just stared, unable to believe they were actually arguing with this kid. As Amon thought over Hide's words, he realized Hide had said some rather odd things about Kaneki. He looked at the dark-haired boy. There's no way Kaneki was a ghoul. The scanners would have gone off. The sound of a food tray clattering to the floor caught his attention, and he turned to find Takizawa staring at Kaneki like he was looking at a monster. How the hell did you get in here? Takizawa screamed, pointing at Kaneki, gaining the attention of the whole lunchroom. Huh? Kaneki looked up. The front door? He phrased it like a question. Impossible! The scanners would have gone off! Takizawa said before turning to the rest. That boy's a ghoul! I saw him buying RC's stomach the other day! You're mistaken, Takizawa. Amon said, trying his best to calm the other down. You probably saw someone who looked similar. Kaneki's not a ghoul. I saw him go through the Amon drew out the last word as Kaneki brought out a familiar white bottle and popped the pill in his mouth. All the air left Amon's body. Wow, these people move quick, Hide said as everyone around them leapt back about a foot or so. Hide, get away from Kaneki. He's not what you think he is. He's not human. Amon called. Crap, no one brought their weapons to the cafeteria. Thankfully, he heard Shinohara radio for help. Yeah, I know! No one can read as much as he can. It's inhuman! Hide yelled back. No, you idiot! Your friend's a ghoul! He could take a bite out of you at any moment! Takizawa said. Newsflash! He literally just took the pill you guys sell so he doesn't have to do that! Hide responded before sighing. Look, can you all just come sit back down and not make a big deal out of it? You're scaring him! Do you know how long it took me to get through his head he wasn't a monster? Don't undo all my hard work! For the record, Kaneki-Ken did not look scared. He was nose deep in a book. How did you fool the scanners? Amon asked Kaneki, ignoring Hide's request. This was a major security breach, and they needed to figure out how to fix it. Ghouls that liked to gloat, so Kaneki might tell them. Amon tried to ignore that Hide had to nudge Kaneki to get him to answer. I didn't. I just walked through them, was all the other said, still reading his book, ignoring all the glares being sent his way. It might be because I'm only half. What? I'm only a half ghoul. That is the worst lie I've ever heard. Amon screamed back, more annoyed than terrified now. He's not lying, Hide interrupted. He had a surgery last year and the doctor was a dick and put a ghoul organ in him. I still think you should see that guy. Hide ended, turning to look at his friend. For the last time, Hide, I am not suing Dr. Kano. The name drop made several older people in the room perk up. Why not? You'd get a good settlement. Because no one would believe me. We just told all these people and they think I'm lying. Did you say Kano? Shinohara asked. Karu Akihiro? Yes. I don't remember his first name. He works at Kano Hospital. Kaneki said and went back to his book. Shinohara turned to Amon. I don't think he's lying. Amon shot him an incredulous look, and Shinohara continued on. Kano used to be. The cafeteria doors slammed open, and to the relief of many, there stood their savior. Arima Kisho had entered the room, Kinge suitcase in hand. I was told there was a hostage situation, he asked the room in his quiet voice. Several people pointed to the two boys sitting at an empty table. Upon seeing them, Arima blinked once, twice, 3 times. Oh, was all he said as he walked towards them. Everyone stared, eagerly waiting for Arima to unleash his weapon and kill or detain the ghoul. Their heartbeats became quicker with every step he took. Soon the Reaper was right behind the ghoul, weapon still sheathed to the confusion of many. Arima did not take out his weapon. He poked Kaneki's shoulder. Kaneki looked up and smiled. Arima-san! Book buddy. Arima greeted, sitting down next to Kaneki. Did Arima Kisho just call that ghoul book buddy? Arman asked, voice strangely high. Hey, Arima! Hide waved to the older man, who nodded back. Nagi-Chica, Arima greeted before turning his attention to Kaneki. I'm sorry I couldn't be your tour guide. I volunteered but was denied. Have you read it yet? In response to the question, Kaneki showed Arima the title of his book, and the older man's lips twitched up into a small smile as he took his own copy out of his jacket. How far have you gotten? I've already read it twice. Once for pleasure, the second for analyzing the language. All of the CCG workers trapped in the cafeteria watched in stupefied awe as Arima Kisho, the best ghoul investigator the organization had ever seen, chatted with a ghoul about books. Investigator Arima, what are you doing? Someone yelled, capturing Arima's attention. Oh, my apologies. I was distracted. Arima said as he picked up his radio. There's been a case of miscommunication. There is no hostage situation. Cafeteria is clear of any hostile forces. Lockdown is not needed. You're talking to the hostile force! Several people yelled, but became quiet when Arima leveled the crowd with a glare. Book buddy, Arima said, eyes never leaving the crowd. Did you take your pill? Yes. Then there are no hostile forces. Arima told everyone, turning back to Kaneki. Slowly, ever so slowly, people went back to their tables. How do you two know each other? Akira asked, taking in the odd scene of Arima having emotions on his face. Both of them turned to look at her. We're in the same book club, they replied in unison. By book club, they mean they meet up every week or so to talk about the morbid books they like to read. There is no one else. Ide supplied helpfully. I wasn't invited to join. I don't want to join. Discussing books isn't my cuppa. And how long have you guys been friends? Amon had to ask. We exchanged numbers the last time I was here, Kaneki told him. We met up a week later and have been doing so ever since. And when did you tell him you were a ghoul? I knew that from the beginning, Arima said, done bored. The lack of food and the questionable smoothie, along with Nagachika's progressive thoughts, tipped me off. I did ask to make sure, and Kaneki confirmed. And you don't care? Amon asked. No, Kaneki has never harmed or eaten a human. The smoothie kept his hunger at bay while RC's stomach was being created. Something clicked in Amon's head and stared at Arima in shock. Investigator Arima, you were the one to push for the creation of the drug. Is that because... Amon trailed off, gesturing to Kaneki. Arima understood and nodded. Of course, I wanted my book buddy to be able to eat again. Amon's head hit the table with outstanding force. I can't believe this, he muttered to himself. I can't believe this. I know, right? He didn't even tell us. We had to find out through the newspaper, Hide said. I was on a long-term mission and did not know it had gone on the market, Arima replied. You didn't even give us a hint that you guys were creating a drug! Because I did not know if it would be a success or not. I did not want to get your hopes up, Arima said before Kaneki tugged on his sleeve, bringing the man back into the discussion of books. This can't be real, Amon muttered to himself. But it is! And isn't it great? A new drug created to help ghoul hunger, ghouls and humans becoming friendly? What a time to be alive! Ide said, laughing. I can't wait to come back next year! Amon groaned. End of Research in Smoothies by Timeless Tears. If you enjoyed this recording or the content, feel free to leave a review at the original from the link in the descriptions or a comment below. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel for the new works I publish every day.